What's up? What's happening? You already know who it is and what it is. It's your boy Q Walker, aka Nephew Q, host of the world's most dangerous sports show, Beyond the Game. And what I'm here to do is continue on breaking down my top five greatest players from every NBA franchise. Now, as you guys have already know, that this season the NBA came out with a greatest 75 players list of all time. And instead of me boring y'all with one long video naming my 75 greatest players, what I've decided to do is go to every NBA franchise, name who my top five players are with one honorable mention. And to continue on with that, today we are at the Indianapolis Pacers. Yes, the Indiana Pacers, they started off their franchise actually in the ABA, and then when that league folded, the Indiana Pacers, continued with their franchise into the NBA. The Kentucky Colonels should still be in the NBA because they were one of the best ABA teams in the league, but that's neither here nor there. That's a different story for a different day. But we are on the Indiana Pacers, and for my honorable mention for my Indiana Pacers. Now, the Pacers have had a lot of good players come through their franchise, a lot of talented players come through their franchise. So, it was kind of difficult narrowing it down to five with one honorable mention. But this guy right here, I feel like for my honorable mention, if he didn't get injured, if he didn't have knee injuries that kind of derailed his career a little bit, I mean, he was on a great track, or not a great track, he was on a very good track to be a very, very good player in the NBA. He was 6'8", he could do every single thing on the court. But like I said, ultimately injuries got the best of him. My honorable mention goes to none other than Danny Granger. Yes, Danny Granger. Now, he played 9 seasons for the Indiana Pacers while averaging 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, shooting 43% from the field and 38% from the three-point line. Now, he also made the All-Star team one time while playing with the Indiana Pacers, while making the All-Rookie team and also earning the honors of 2008-2009 Most Improved Player in the NBA. Like I said, this guy was on a very good career arc, but injuries ultimately derailed that with his knee injuries and carrying on, but he was on a very, very good career arc. But anyways, Danny Granger comes in my honorable mention all-time Indiana Pacers players. Now, let's get into my top five, because I know a lot of people are wondering, okay, Q, who you got in your top five if Danny Granger is your honorable mention? Well, this guy right here, he played center in my top five. This guy played center for the Indiana Pacers during their glory years, which were during the mid to early late 90s. I guess you would say the 90s decade. This guy was the anchor in the middle. I mean, he held it down for them for as long as he could. I mean, he went up against the likes of Shaq, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, and he didn't outshine them, but he held his own. I mean, ultimately helping the Indiana Pacers get to the 2000 NBA Finals. And he's an international player at that. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I'm talking about the Duncan Dutchman, Rick Smits. All 7'4" of him comes in my number five top five Indiana Pacers players of all time. Now, he played his whole entire career with the Indiana Pacers while averaging 14 points per game. He was averaging 6 rebounds. He shot a little over 50% from the field with them while making one All-Star appearance and making the All-Rookie team while playing for the Indianapolis Pacers. So coming in my number five, the Duncan Dutchman, Rick Smits. So yes, let's continue on with my number four. So my number four, this guy right here, man, I don't know if you can come up with enough words to describe how this guy is. He was regarded as one of the best defensive players during his heyday. He's a little out there. I mean, he's changed his name a couple of times while playing in the NBA. Unfortunately, I wish this guy wasn't known for the Malice at the Palace, but a lot of people know him from her. He hails from New York City, St. John's to be exact. I'm talking about Ron Artest, aka Meta World Peace, aka True Warrior, aka Ron, aka the Panda's friend, aka Beast. Now, Ron Artest, he played for the Indianapolis Pacers for 5 seasons. He averaged 16 points per game while playing with them, while shooting 42% from the field, 31% from the three-point line, also while grabbing 5 rebounds and 3 assists while playing with the Indiana Pacers. Now, also, he made the All-NBA team while playing with them. He was a 2-time All-Defensive team member while playing with the Indiana Pacers, and He won the 2003-2004 Defensive Player of the Year award winner while playing with the Indiana Pacers. So Ron Artest comes in at my number 4 greatest Indiana Pacers players of all time. So now let's get to the top 3 proceedings. Now, who I got coming in at my number 3 greatest Indiana Pacer player of all time. He didn't start his career with the Pacers. He got drafted straight out of high school. He played for the Portland Trailblazers for a couple of years. They had a loaded roster with Rasheed Wallace, Brian Grant, Zach Zebo. They just couldn't really find no space for him, so they traded him to the Indiana Pacers. And this guy's career took off and flourished once he got to the Indiana Pacers. And again, he was involved with the Malice at the Palace, so we don't know how truly good that team could have been with this player, Ron Artest, Steven Jackson, so forth and so on. I am talking about none other than Big Bucket Getter himself, Jermaine O'Neal. Yes, Jermaine O'Neal. He was a 6-time All-Star while playing with the Indiana Pacers. He made the All-NBA team 3 times, while also gaining the Most Improved Player of the Year award while playing for the Indiana Pacers. During his time with the Pacers, he played it for them for 8 seasons while averaging 18 points per game, grabbing 9 rebounds, and shooting 45% from the field and averaging 2 blocks a game for the Indiana Pacers. And like I mentioned, him playing, we don't really know how good that Pacers team could have been. Man, they had some of the best records when Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, and Steven Jackson was playing for him, but unfortunately, they had that Malice at the Palace, and we never actually got to see how good that team could be. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Jermaine O'Neal comes in my number 3 greatest Indiana Pacers players of all time. Now we down to the top 2. Now this guy right here that is coming in at my number 2, actually, now that I think about it, a lot of the Pacers players have won Most Improved Player of the Year award winners, because this guy's going to continue on with the trend when he won the award as well. He came into the league, he was kind of underrated, and then he kind of made a name for himself once Danny Granger went out, or his injuries kind of took over for him. This guy kind of took over for Danny Granger, and his career took off once Danny Granger's unfortunate knee injuries started happening. This guy is also known for having big, huge playoff battles against LeBron James in the Eastern Conference with Roy Hilbert and all of those, and David West and all of those guys, but they never ultimately could get over the hump against the Miami Heat. I'm talking about Paul George, PG-13, Trace, whatever you want to call him. During his time with the Indiana Pacers, he was a 4-time All-Star. Like I mentioned, he won the Most Improved Player of the Year award. He made the All-Defensive team 3 times while making the All-NBA team 3 times as well while playing with them. He played for the Indiana Pacers for 7 seasons while averaging 18 points per game, while shooting a little bit over 43% from the field, 37% from the 3-point line, averaging 6 rebounds and 3 assists with his time while playing for the Indiana Pacers. So Paul George comes in. Now this guy, he's the most talented player to probably ever play for the Indiana Pacers, but I feel like he wasn't the best Indiana Pacers player for all time because he didn't ultimately spend the bulk of his career there. But anyways, number 1, Paul George did spend the bulk of his career there, but he didn't spend his entire career there. Number 1 greatest Indiana Pacer player of all time. I mean, is there really anything I need to say? Because by this time, if you don't know whose name I haven't mentioned, then you probably haven't been watching NBA basketball to know that there's one guy's name left on the list that I haven't called that should have been called. And I'm going to just let this graphic right here show. It's none other than Reggie Miller. He played his entire career for the Indiana Pacers. Now, during his time with the Pacers, obviously he's a Hall of Fame member. He made the All-Star team 5 times. He was an All-NBA member 3 times. He's a member of the NBA 75 Greatest Players list. Like I mentioned, he averaged 18 points per game while playing with them, while shooting 47% from the field, 39% from 3-point line, while averaging 3 rebounds, 3 assists, during his time as an Indiana Pacer. So Reggie Miller comes in as my greatest Indiana Pacer player of all time, as if there was a doubt of who it could possibly be. But anyways, that's my list. Let me know what you guys think about my list in the comments. Do I have somebody up too high? Do I have somebody up down too low? Is there somebody that I should have put on my list? In the comment section, let me know who you would have as your top 5 greatest Indiana Pacers players of all time. But anyways, we're getting ready to get on about this thing. As always, you make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you can't do that, make sure you download the Beyond the Game app on your Amazon Fire Stick and check us out on there as well. If you can't sit down and watch us on YouTube or your Amazon Fire Stick, subscribe to the podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms. And also, we are on your hip. And what I mean by that is we are now an app that you can download on your Android or your iPhone by typing in KY Beyond the Game in the Google Play Store or your App Store and download the Beyond the Game app. Well, this has been your boy Nephew Q, letting you know who my top 5 greatest Indiana Pacers players are. Catch you next time. And as always, treat somebody how you want somebody to treat your mama. And we up at this thing, y'all. Peace.